Good afternoon, Goran. How are you doing today?
Doing great. How about you, John?
I'm doing good. Thanks for asking, and welcome to Reel In Films. Today, we're going to be talking about this little. I wouldn't say little. It's a major event. There's the Korean cinema golden decade, the 1960s, that will be running from September 1 until September 17. That they're going to highlight a lot of Korean cinema. And I'm super excited because we last time we had an interview because you had another event. There was the Kung Fu event.
Right, right. The Taiwanese wuxia films, right? Sword
Yes.
fighting films. Yep, yep.
And now we're back with but with Korean cinema. So Goran, what made the choice to choose the decade of the 60s for all these films?
So this is something that we really wanted to do a while back. I'm not sure if you remember, but back in 2019, uh, Subway Cinema collaborated with Film at Lincoln Center for new Korean cinema retrospective, which kind of covered the time period from like 1996 through like mid maybe 2003, 2000. Yeah, forget now exactly the date that we covered, but and as you know, new Korean cinema is considered one of the most kind of innovative and exciting periods in Korean film history. And it gave us the works of Park Chan-wook and Bong Joon-ho and Kim Ji-won and other prominent filmmakers. Um, and looking at the history of Korean cinema, the only other time in their film history that they had such an explosion and such a boom in their film industry was the 60s. And it's kind of remarkable that that boom period happened after the Korean War, right? So the Korean War ended in 1953. And then in the 60s, you already have, uh, hundreds of films being made in that decade and a variety of genres and types of films and a lot of creativity, a lot of innovation, a lot of at the same time, the Korean society at that time was also industrializing rapidly. So kind of this went hand in hand, right, in parallel. And especially here in the States, people don't really know much about the older and classic Korean films. So new Korean cinema didn't just kind of come out of nowhere, right? So we wanted to provide kind of that context. And even if you mention filmmakers like Bong Joon-ho and Park Chan-wook, they are also fans of the 60s films, and especially in some of the filmmakers that were active in that time, in that era, right? So these were some of the the reasons that we decided to do this, right? So it's a very long answer
Uh,
to your short question. So
so, um, do you think that being the fact that nowadays,
mhm.
Korean cinema, and not only Korean cinema, Korean drama and series have been very popular nowadays. Do you think that the creativity of the past is still undergoing moving forward to what we're seeing now on films and series from Korea?
Well, I think it all goes through cycles, right? So you cannot expect everything to be progressing and improving continuously, right? So especially when it comes to the film industry, there's certain time periods where stars just align and everything works really well. And a lot of it also has to do with the government policy and state of the economy of the country. And uh, so but certainly there's a lot of um, inspiration that contemporary Korean creators can draw from their past, from the history of their cinema and other media content. So I would say that the 60s could be considered a fertile ground to maybe find new ideas and new concepts to put in contemporary times, right? So I personally, even for us as curators, we have seen a lot of films that we didn't know before, and we were really just pleasantly surprised and just kind of wow, this is brilliant, or oh, this would be great to make a remake, or how come no one makes this kind of film anymore, right? In terms of certain stories, and so yeah, so it's great.
I wanted to ask, what can the audience or the people expect to see or to enjoy in the event of, I would say it's almost 16 days straight of pure
Yeah,
Korean cinema?
yeah.
What can they
It's a
expect?
it's a lot, and there are 24 feature films, right? So we really try to cover a lot of ground, and it really depends on people's tastes and what kind of movies that they like. I mean, we have anything from kind of art house and experimental films such as Aimless Bullet and Empty Dream, to action films. Like we have Chong Chang-hwa's A Swordsman in the Twilight, which is really his attempt to create a kind of uniquely Korean sword fighting film to make it a distinct from the Hong Kong wuxia films that were also popular at the time in Korea as well. And we also have this. I'm really personally excited about this one. It's Special Agent X7. It's Chung Chang-hwa's spy film, and it was a Hong Kong and Korea co-production. The film was considered lost for until in I think in 2013 they discovered a 35 millimeter print in Hong Kong, unfortunately without sound elements. But it's still a brilliant film, and we're going to have a DJ to provide live music accompaniment for the two screenings that we're going to have. But I think this is a very unique opportunity to see this lost film of a great, action filmmaker. For those in the audience who may not know, Chung Chang-hwa also directed The King Boxer or Five Fingers of Death. So he worked for Shaw Brothers, but he spent a lot of time making movies in Korea prior to signing contract with Shaw Brothers. So like it's for genre fans, I think this is going to be exciting. We also have some horror films. Um, we have the Bloodthirsty Killer, which is a kind of perfect example of a Korean style horror movie of that period. And usually in Korean horror films, the standard story, you have a female character that was wronged, betrayed, murdered, and then she comes back as a ghost looking for revenge, right? So it's very atmospheric, and I would also recommend that. We have animation. Really, like it's all we have it all over the map. Like whatever you're into, we probably have something for you, right? So but I would also encourage people to kind of go outside the comfort zones and to kind of explore, because this is a unique opportunity to do that. You know, have all these movies in one place. So take advantage of it.
So, Goran, if you out of the 20, you mentioned I think it was like around
24.
24,
Yeah.
24 films, what would be your top three choices that you would say to the people to go ahead and have a sit down to watch it or give it a try?
Ooh, that's a tough one. So let me think about that a little bit. So if people have no prior familiarity with classic Korean films, right?
Hmm.
So and this is kind of easy answer. Everyone would say, okay, you got to see The Housemaid from Kim Ki-young, director. It is considered one of the greatest Korean films ever made, and it's sort of it's a bit of a kind of thriller with elements of horror, but it's kind of family drama, and it's about this femme fatale who works as a housemaid for a middle class family, and let's just say things don't go well. So
Okay. I would say one of the list when I saw like the screens, the films that are listed, one of them that I just, at least I dived in a little bit in regards to like what the film is about is Aimless Bullet. I'm
yes.
very intrigued for that one. I like, anything that has to do with like I would say history and
Yes.
touches upon those like personal touches of like what happens before, after, or after the fact. It seems very interesting. Um,
And that's a great choice too, and I would also kind of recommend it. But it's It's not a happy movie.
No, I
it, it
imagine.
you're right, and it really it's a good example of Korean kind of art house films from that time. Uh, and the director Yoo Hyun Mok was really kind of the leading auteur of the period. And he was also influenced by a little bit of kind of the German expressionism and Italian neorealism. So you're going to see all those elements in this film. So it's just brilliant. It's really it's a masterpiece. So yeah.
So Goran, my final question for you today is, will there be any type of like surprises throughout the event?
Surprises. Well, I think other than the films themselves, if um, we're gonna have we might be giving away some prizes before the shows. We're still working out the logistics of it. But we might do like a pre-show raffles where we'll give prizes to the audience members. And one of those prizes is actually we have a limited number of these books. It's painted history of painted cinema billboards in Korea, and of
Okay.
course covers the 60s, but it goes all the way to the 80s and 90s, and it's just beautiful to look at. I mean, they're posters of not just Korean films, but also Hollywood and Hong Kong movies that were released at that time. I mean, you can see like a John Woo movies, and anyway, so yeah, so this may be one thing that's going to be kind of fun for the audience, I would say. And we might have other things like uh, we're still working on it, let's say.
Okay.
So yeah.
So Goran, I gotta say, thank you very much for giving us the time, to speak about the event. Can you tell the audience all the good details of when the event is going to start, and if where can they get their tickets?
Yeah, so the event starts September 1st and it's going to run all the way through September 17th. There will be screenings every day. I think each film is going to be screened at least twice. And the tickets can be purchased, if you go to the film a link, uh, film at Lincoln Center, right? Their website, film a link, linc.com, and can find all information there. Or you can also go to subwaycinema.com as well, because we have a page dedicated to this event, and then you can also get to the ticket sales from there as well. So either go to filmlink.com or go to subwaycinema.com. So
Okay, thank you very much, Goran,
mhm.
for everything today, giving us the great details of the event and some films as well for all of my audience. The links will be down in the description, like that you guys can check out the tickets and the screening times for the event. So thank you for everything, Goran. And we will see you in the next one.
Yeah, thank you for having me, John. I always enjoy talking to you. Take care.
Thank you.